Thank you for being here. Dragon Crypto Gaming. Firestorm is in the place, feeling a little sick, but he's riding with us. So,
good to talk to you again, man.
Yes.
Hey,
man.
Firestorm. Yeah, it's we've had a few conversations in the background for those who don't know. So yeah, thanks for having me on here, guys. It's good to be here.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you, man. Dragons were a huge part of my childhood, so I'm very interested in this project. What is there? It seems like there's a lot of lore here.
Oh yes. Oh
yes. Yes.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, dragons were not just a part of your childhood. There, most of us at Dragon Crypto Gaming are, pure nerds. I mean, that's what we were when we were younger. That's what we are now.
Well, I don't know if you can see behind me, man, but I dabble.
Yes, just a bit. That's amateur hour compared to us. Yeah, no,
absolutely.
Yeah, no. So obviously, as nerds, we're well aware that lore is a very important aspect of these kind of games, fantasy universes, basically, not even just games, but fantasy universes.
Absolutely.
You need lore to back it up. So
Absolutely.
It is definitely something we're focusing on quite heavily, for sure. We have a professional writer working in the background at all times. We have I think at last count, I think we had 42 pages of lore written.
Wow.
So yeah, 42 pages of lore / quest lines and side quests and the whole shebang. So yeah,
so it's a pretty huge game.
Oh yes. Now, obviously, just a little bit of a how would you call it? A clarification. It's not all going to be there on release. This is going to be something we release over time. But yes, definitely very important to us.
I kind of want to do a comparison. So I wanted to wait until you sort of joined, Paul. I played a lot of Dungeons and Dragons when I was in middle school. Okay. Just for the audience who may be younger than me, like the way it worked was we had one of our friends who acted as the dungeon master. Right. Like, this is the guy that defines the rules, that tells you what's happening, and it's purely up to your imagination. You select your character, you roll the dice a few times, you create your character, and you basically adventure. You go on an adventure. And you're limited only by your imagination, right? Now, of course, that's cool, but when you have an RPG game, like basically the exact name, 1 second, I don't want to butcher it, the Legend of Aurum Draconis, right? When you have a game like that actually interacts with you directly in a faster manner, I find that to be extremely cool. Again, I was just saying, it brings back memories of my childhood. And, I'm kind of a nerd. I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of a nerd. I love dragons. I love, the lore that you guys have out there. So quite happy to be talking to you today, man.
I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be talking to fellow nerds as well. I mean, Dungeons and Dragons, that's really nearly as nerdy as you can get, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I play too, guys. All right. I'm on the level. All right. It's kind of one of those things where, and just for the uninitiated, or not the uninitiated, but maybe people who aren't as familiar with what we're talking about, lore is the background of the worlds when you're in a game. Like, it's the history and all the writings and the item descriptions and all that kind of stuff. I've been playing a lot of Elden Ring, as you guys may know. So I'm very engaged in the lore aspect of it. So the legend, please say it again, Firestorm. I know you have it right in front of you, so you can say it. The Legend of
Aurum Draconis.
Aurum Draconis. We need to know more about this, man. What's going on there?
Of course. Well, Aurum Draconis is the name of the big bad, the dragon, the golden dragon that you may have seen in some of our tweets before.
Yes.
He is going to be the big bad, at least initially when we release the game. Okay. The main quest line is all about defeating the golden dragon, aka Aurum Draconis. So yeah, that's the story behind the name of the game.
And so so you're earning rewards as you play, correct?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, there's many different ways to earn rewards. I won't bore you all with all of the exact details, but one of the main ways is going to be via either crafting and selling your materials or just combat. So like every RPG you've ever played, you get loot. In this case, the loot is actual tokens that you can sell or hold or use or whatever you wish. So
I love that.
Yeah, we're trying to combine the best of both worlds, right? An RPG game and earning money. I mean, now you can play a game and earn money. So when your mother used to tell you when you were younger, you'll never earn anything playing those games, well, now you can say otherwise.
So here's a question: should we stream this on this Twitch channel? Should we do some? Should we try to fight the what's his name again? Draconis. Sorry,
Aurum
Aurum.
No
Draconis.
Yeah,
That's
no
right.
problem.
No, that's super cool. I just like, I have so much lore in my head. Okay, it's hard to keep it all straight. But yeah, we should play that on this Twitch channel. I would love to do that if you guys are down.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, great, awesome. It's a date. I know Firestorm
I'm
had
hold
a
you to
bunch
that.
Say that again.
I'm going to hold you to that.
All right. Sorry, Firestorm. You had a question.
No, I was just gonna say one of the cool things, and again, this takes me back a while. Like I used to play a lot of Daggerfall back in the day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Elder Scrolls, right? And the coolest thing, I don't know, maybe I'm kind of weird, but the coolest thing that you could do in Daggerfall is like purchase a house, do stuff in there, purchase a horse. Like it's like ownership. It was like one of the earlier metaverses, if you will, right?
Yes.
And I did notice that you guys also support something along those lines, right? You can purchase land. Am I correct?
Oh yes. Not initially. No, this is not going to be on the initial release, but yes, for sure. By the end of next quarter, we're going to have a full land-based management system where you not only buy and purchase land, but you can also build on that land. We have some pretty exciting features in the future for that as well. I won't say too much right now because it's still in the initial planning stages. But yes, the very.
I guess one thing I just realized, me and Jimmy, we kind of vibe off of each other and we sort of go too fast at times. I'm particularly familiar with what you have. Why don't we take a step back for our audience and let you sort of talk about the game and give them an overview, I guess. Let's start there because I feel like we skipped that quite fast.
Of course.
I just wanted to get to the lore. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just want to get to the stuff I love.
That's perfectly understandable. But yeah, no problem. I can give a brief description of the game. So basically, The Legend of Aurum Draconis is an upcoming RPG game. For those not familiar, RPG stands for role-playing game. You may be familiar with many of the classics such as Diablo, Skyrim, Elder Scrolls, Daggerfall, everything that Firestorm has just mentioned, as well as Elden Ring. Elden Ring is a form of RPG as well, and well, there you go. Yeah, big fan over here. So yeah, that's basically the theme of the game we're going to be creating. So basically, you go to the plains, you fight enemies, be they orcs, goblins, or I don't know, Footer the Devious. We're including some more humorous names to sort of tie into crypto as well. You gain experience and loot. In this case, loot is actual token that you can sell on the open market. You will also get NFTs. So that is in the form of equipment. Every piece of equipment we have in game is going to be an NFT. You can sell on the marketplace, or you can use to equip your character to make them more powerful.
That's sick.
Yeah. I mean, we have a lot of combinations. I think we have 2,000 unique pieces of artwork at the moment, and that will lead to millions of different combinations. So by that I mean, for example, the sword may be the sword of speed and it will give you extra speed, or it might be the sword of health and give you endurance, and so on and so forth. Anyway, when you fight or when you craft, you get experience, you level up, you get a particular amount of attribute points that you then allocate to your character as you wish. So you can make a barbarian warrior, you can make an archer, a rogue, a mage. For anyone that's not familiar with these terms, they all have a certain aspect of gameplay that you can look up. I won't go into too much details and bore everyone. So yeah, you can gear your character around that. You can equip them with NFTs, as I said, which is the form of equipment to make them more powerful. You can make a crafter character instead, and go to the mines to mine material. Which the better you get, better material, the more you're more sort of specified towards that. Then you can use that material. You can forge it, refine it, in the forge. And then use that material to forge actual equipment, which will be NFTs that belong to your wallet, and then you can sell on the open market again. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Obviously, there's more detail. There's whole quest lines. There's huts. There's mini games. The tavern. There's bards and a whole lot of other things planned in the future, including land management. But that's basically the initial game in a nutshell.
And just to clarify it for our audience, I think the initial release of the game, like the interactions with, like, for example, in battle, is all text-based, right? Which allows you to actually launch the game fairly quickly, I imagine, right?
Exactly, yes. So think Dwarf Fortress, where you look at the combat going on. It's not going to be quite as detailed as that, but you'll be able to hit people, and when you do hit them, it will tell them where you've hit them, how much damage you've done, and so on and so forth. But
nice.
That's only for the initial release. We already have major plans to upgrade the graphics. I'm not sure if anybody is familiar with Heroes of Might and Magic, but if you want to give it a
bro.
Oh, yes.
Somebody is.
Heroes of Might and Magic 2 and 3. Naturally.
Oh, yes. Three in particular.
3 in particular. Every single expansion, every single campaign finished in the hardest possible difficulty, just so you know.
Oh, a man after my own heart, although I'm a little bit more of a wimp than you. Definitely the hardest difficulty for me, but definitely a game I wasted my childhood on.
Yeah.
Hey fellas, we got a question in the chat, if you wouldn't mind. Shout out to Caden J, and shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I haven't been super on the chat today, so my apologies, chat. We love you guys. But Caden says, is there any advice for distribution of characteristics in the beginning? Let's say I got one master character, any hints? So this guy's not doing multiple playthroughs. He's just got one guy.
Yeah, no, that's a very valid question, and one is enough to play. What I would definitely advise is that you put some points into your health, so you can actually survive the enemies.
Always a good call.
1 or 2 points into speed so that you can get the first attack. A couple of points into defense so that you don't die very quickly, and the rest you can distribute as you see fit. This is assuming you're going for combat, of course. If you're going for mining, everything in the crafting and gathering, that's definitely the best bet. But yeah, you definitely need health and defense with a little bit of speed to survive. And then the rest you can put into more defense, more health, or attack, or whatever.
Just like real life.
Exactly. And also, just for the record, I am not that old, okay? We are not that old. I'm in my early 30s, okay?
I'm pretty old.
Yeah,
I just turned 86. So sorry.
That was based on a comment in chat, by the way, in case.
Oh, well, I mean, I can take it. Dish it out, chat. You ever seen an old man play rap music on the turntables? Just kidding. Paul, let me ask you, what is your build? Like, are you a mage? Are you a melee guy? Like, what are you going for?
Well, you see, the problem is I couldn't decide, so I ended up getting 5 or 6 heroes that I'm going to go one of each, so for sure.
I'm exactly the same way, dude. I'm exactly the same way. So I feel your pain. I can never decide between mage and melee. You know what I mean?
Well, normally in most RPGs now, I do go either mage or archer. They are my preferred builds. But,
okay, archer. Look at you.
Oh, yeah, I do love the archer. Yeah.
That's a specialized class, man.
Some would say useless, but I enjoy it. So
no, I wouldn't say useless. If you know what you're doing, it's not useless at all.
Depends on if you're out in the open or if you're in a like dungeon with a narrow hallway and you're trying to shoot people with arrows. It depends on the game and the dungeon itself.
I think both builds are viable. Yeah, exactly.
All builds are viable, exactly.
Let's go. I love that, man. This sounds so tight. I'm like super sorry. I don't mean to get like too excited, but like I am legitimately stoked for your game, man.
I'm very good. I'm very glad to hear it. Thank you.
It sounds awesome, dude. Man, it's because it's one thing to be able to like collect weapons and like gear and stuff like that, but if you can actually like put it to use in the game and it like ups your stats, and not only that, like if you're getting cool NFT armor, like you're looking good doing it. You know what I mean? So it's like double plus. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. Plus earning money on the side. I mean, dude, who can say no to that?
You gotta love it, right? So can I wait? Can I change gears really quick and do something that'll take like 2 seconds? Can we just have a little bit of goofy fun really quick, guys? Because I just got reminded of something. Is this okay with everybody? Can I play the Let's Get Staked song? We had some requests for it last time. Are you guys cool with that?
Take it away.
Anyways, it's just 2 nerds now.
And then there were 2.
Yeah. So, Paul, I guess tell us a little bit about the economical side as well. I think nowadays most of the players are wanting to understand the the economical side as well. I know you guys actually have 2 tokens. Can you walk us through a little bit on like how these tokens work and what the players can use them for?
Of course, yep, sounds good. So one of our core aspects, actually, before we get into the more tokenomics side of things, is that we want this game to be affordable now and in the future, forevermore. I'm sure you've looked into other crypto games on various chains, and you might have noticed
Absolutely.
that it takes between $3,000 and $7,000 just to get started, depending on which token you're looking at. So one of the first things we've decided to do is peg the entry price of our game to $100. So it does not matter how successful the token gets. You will always only have to spend $100
Oh, that's
to mint
pretty
a hero.
cool. And I
So
guess that's also in line with, like, if I think about like a World of Warcraft expansion or something, it's almost in line with the pricing there, right? So in that sense, that's actually a very good feature.
exactly. But the thing is, as well, for $100, you can play this game forevermore, and you will actually be earning money as well. So this is a play and earn. So you can consider the $100 an investment more than just a purchase of a game. It's something that will always allow you to play the game and all future expansions of said game.
Of course.
So it's definitely something important because, well, as I've said, we're all nerds, right? So we all want to play games on crypto games, but sometimes you just look at the price and go, you know what? I think I'm okay. I'll go play Ark or Elden Ring instead, or whatever it may
Right,
be.
right, right.
But yes, anyway, that's kind of the entry point of the system. So the tokenomics are a little bit different. So DCAU is fully minted as is. It's already deflationary. We've burned. It's 155,000 max. Was minted. Sorry, 2,100 of those roughly have been burned already before the game is even released. And that's fully community owned. So there was no VCs and that was released and farmed by the community initially. That's going to be the entry point into the game. So that's what you use to buy heroes. It's going to be used in the marketplace to buy equipment. So by equipment, I mean weapons and armor. It's also going to be used to heal up after battles if you want to play, or rest at the end if you want to play more turns. So that's DCAU. DCAR is the upcoming token. So that is also going to be deflationary eventually.
Argenti, right?
Exactly, Argenti. So in case anybody's wondering, it stands for Dragon Crypto Aurum and Dragon Crypto Argenti, which is gold and silver in Latin. Unfortunately, we were going to go for Dragon Gold, but that was actually unfortunately taken by a rugging project, so we didn't want to associate with those guys. Yeah, so we went with the Latin instead. So that's how we came up with the name. So yeah, Argenti, silver, DCAR is going to be our upcoming token. That's going to be listed on Dexalot. In fact, it's going to go through the price discovery of Dexalot. That's going to be the crafting token. So anything associated with crafting is going to use DCAR. Be that repairing equipment, making equipment, or buying materials buying materials in the marketplace. As well as that, it's going to be the token used exclusively for our land management system. So you can buy land using DCR, build on that land using DCR, etc., etc. And obviously, there will be further use cases for both of these tokens in the future. This is just the sort of initial plans. The mechanics for both, well, first off, you can earn both, by the way, in combat, and you can also earn DCAU via DCR and likewise via our mechanisms. I won't go too much into detail. I don't want to keep you here all night. But as well as that, every transaction in game, regardless of what it is, 75% of that transaction will be put back into the in-game economy. So, for example, when you fight, you will earn tokens. That will be part of the in-game economy. When you stake DCR, it will actually entitle you to a portion of all tokens in the ecosystem. So it's a profit-sharing mechanism. And of the remaining 25%, 5% of that goes towards the ecosystem fund. So that's basically to pay for future development. And 20% of that is burned. So that's why both tokens are going to be deflationary. So 20% of every single purchase in game will be burned. So that means that the lower the price of the token, the more scarce the token becomes, and therefore increasing the price. And if the price is high, less of the token is burned, meaning extra stability for the tokens.
Yeah.
So
It's kind of a system similar to like algorithmic stablecoins, right? Like you basically are auto adjusting the supply so that you inject stability into the system. Very
exactly.
Cool, man.
The main difference is that our tokens are always deflationary. There will be no more DCAU minted ever again, and there will be 40 million DCAU minted in total, and after that, purely deflationary. So yeah, that's it.
That's what's up, man.
Needless to say, I am looking forward to this game.
I mean, likewise, my biggest problem is that I'm going to have the same issue that I always have. Like, should I start as a mage? Do I want to cast spells, or do I just want to hit somebody with a huge sword? I mean, it's like the question we face every day in life, right? Do I want to cast spells?
I honestly have an opinion on this.
Okay.
Like,
please.
I play other games that allow you to choose classes.
Sure.
I want to say if you pick the guy with the sword, mages usually run away from you and hit you from far, and they keep kiting you back, right?
Yeah.
So I always start with a mage, or something that actually has ranged capability. Daggerfall actually had something called Battle Mage, which was the perfect mix between melee and spells.
And just sounds extremely badass. Like,
yeah, Battle Mage, bro. It could wield short swords and stuff.
Yeah.
While casting, low to medium level damage spells, basically.
I had this problem. I have this problem with most RPGs. Excuse me. And obviously, okay, sorry to bring it back to Elden Ring again, but the last time that was the first time I made a mage build to start off. Usually I'm a big strength bonk boy with a sword, and I think for Dragon, I think I'm going to keep that going for Dragon Crypto, and I think I'm going to be a mage, guys. I think you helped me come to my decision, and I think it's going to be mage.
I think I'm not saying you should be a mage 100% of the time. I'm saying to start, I feel like the mage class is a better one to start. It's usually more difficult to play as well.
Yeah. Yep.
So, it teaches you the game better, I feel, because you can die very quickly if somebody's near you, right?
Right. And that's why Paul made the point to invest in HP. So to go back to the question that Caden had in the chat, you got to level your HP, man. If you're nothing without, a big health bar, you know what I mean? You want your health bar to take up like half the screen.
Oh yeah, you don't want to be a glass cannon. That's not going to work out.
Yeah, dude. Paul, the chat agrees. Actually, Battle Mage is very popular in the chat.
Your reveal trailer, I think that's on YouTube, right?
Yes. So we do have some trailers, but we do have a very cool upcoming lore/reveal trailer that should release alongside the beta, or maybe slightly before, slightly after, that I'm really looking forward to. Has really cool animations and a good bit of lore behind the origins, and starting kind of the hint at some of the things to come. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
When does that drop again?
That's so the beta is in 4 days. So the trailer should be in the next 3 to 5 days, depending on when we decide to release it. So yeah. Very soon.
Man, you've given us a lot here, Paul. This is a lot to take in, man. How did you get the name Paul the Unwise? Where does that come from?
Well, that's actually so I'm one of those people that uses the same name in every single game I've ever played. I know what that's like. Yes, so I ended up I was in the chat one day talking to the team, and my girlfriend and brother were there having a chat with me, and go, oh God, they start giving out to me. He's like, will you ever come up with an original name? So I was like, oh, fine. I'll come up with a name. And I just so happened to be talking to Sam the Wise at the time. So I said, fine, I'll be Paul the Unwise, because I never changed my name. And that's the stupid story of how it originated.
That's pretty funny.
I mean,
I legit don't remember how I came up with Firestorm. I had zero, maybe our star production master may remember, but I don't. And I've been Firestorm ever since. I had some other nicknames that I used to smurf and, beat people in an unsuspecting way at strategy games and whatnot. But, outside of that, I've been Firestorm all along for many years, every game.
Nice.
I mean, the Jimmy Two Times name came from...
to be clear, your name is not even Jimmy, right? Your name is not even Jimmy.
My name is not Jimmy. Jimmy is a stage name. Yeah. I'm Anon. I'm actually Anon. But the movie Goodfellas, if you've ever seen the movie Goodfellas, and if you haven't seen Goodfellas, you should see it. But the name comes from a scene in Goodfellas where it's a very famous scene. So if we got any Scorsese fans out there, you probably already know what this is. But they're moving through the bar, and they're talking to. Oh, sorry, the beat is very distorted right now. They're moving through the bar. They're naming off all the gangsters that they work with. There's Nicky Eyes is one of the dudes. This was a potential name. And then there's Jimmy Two Times, who got that name because he said everything twice. Like, I'm going to go get the papers, right? And so back when I was in college, and so I would repeat myself quite a bit. And I ended up telling the same story multiple times. And somebody was like, hey, Jimmy Two Times over here always tells us the same story. And the name was born.
Boom.
Nice.
That's it.
Nice. So that's two of us that remember our origin stories. But Firestorm, you have a cool name to make up for the lack of origin stories. So
yeah,
you know, it's a good balance.
Yeah.
He was in his back to tank before this, getting better.
I'll take that one, no problem. Nickname is cool. It doesn't need an origin story. There you go.
Exactly.
Love that. Well, fellas, this is awesome. Should we get into some music for a little while, or what do you guys think? You guys got any requests? Any requests, Paul?
Oh, no, I'm not a DJ, and any requests I make will probably go down very badly. So I shall leave that to the experts.